Yes, my shit right here. So that's my shit right here. Welcome back to another episode of Road to William. I got my cousin with me on the show today. Ashley, tell them about your show, I Be Ballin' Basketball.
Hey, what up? It's Ashley I Be Ballin'. I have this awesome YouTube channel called I Be Ballin' Basketball, where I cover the WNBA, the NBA, college, and I cover movie reviews. And I do a lot of, I'm starting NBA 2K as well. So I cover everything and anything basketball. You guys can give me topics, you could be a guest. I do it all. Cover the latest news, free agency, trades. I do it all. Reppin' the WNBA, baby. Ayy. Put your W's up, put your W's up, put your W's up. PG is free, back with the Mercury.
Yeah, go check out my cousin's channel after this. Today we're reviewing The Chi. Y'all see it behind me. We're gonna get right into it. Ashley, what was your uh favorite part of this season? I know they separated it, so it's really but I don't think we talked about the first half of the season. But how do you feel this season was versus all the other ones? How did you like this one versus all the other ones?
Yeah, this season definitely, it when you find out like, oh, they're split it into two, you don't really like it when they do that. But overall, I really liked it because you got to see Lynn Whitfield more. That's probably my favorite part with Lynn Whitfield scenes. And you also saw the progression of the relationship between Iman Shepherd's character and his girlfriend and they drug business, you know what I mean? That weed business. And you also saw Lynn Whitfield get along a little bit better with Iman Shepherd's girlfriend. You also saw him going through rehab and stuff. But I think my favorite part of the season was I was trying to figure out that preacher this whole time. Something about that preacher seemed very off to me. Something about him. And I was like, please don't lead this brother astray. What is. That's the main thing that I wanted to figure out. What was. Because I knew he wasn't all holier than thou. I knew he wasn't holier than thou. And I was like, please don't lead this brother astray. And of course, you got Jacob Lattimore. He's from Milwaukee. So I have a soft spot for him. And so I was like, man, is him and Keisha a mistake? Because they arguing a lot. Maybe they should have stayed friends. But I really did like those three storylines I just mentioned. Oh, and I found out something interesting. Uh, I forgot the girl's name. She came in as the sister. She's on the left with the long braids. I found out that they're actually brother and sister in real life. They do look alike, and I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. So I thought that was dope. Do you have a favorite part of the season?
I liked the music part of it. I feel like this is the first time they. Well, no, it's not. Last season they was trying to bring in with Maisha and stuff, but I like the different artistry of it all. I'm trying to get their names.
Oh, the cast members' names.
Akari's sister,
Yeah, I hope they really mend their relationship.
Brittany. Brittany, I liked her music, but I think that was probably my favorite part of this season. Now, like diving in to the show more, I think when you're talking about the pastor, aside from him, I've always thought that Papa's mom was gonna be an important part of the show because Nessa said good morning.
Hey, what's happening?
Now the dog itching. Hold on. I always thought Papa's mom was gonna be important because last well, now I'm a little confused because it's like am I saying last season or the first half? Goodness. But either way, like when Papa's dad passed away, the mom like kind of already knew something was in the realm of like Duda. But now that we've progressed and we're moving forward, I think the pastor has something to do with Papa's dad's death because Rotimi, I don't know if sorry brother if I'm saying your name wrong, Rotimi, he came in this last episode trying to get back in the good graces of the pastor, like, hey, look, I thought I could start my own church. It's harder than I thought, and this and that. And he at first was coming to him humbly, and it was all a game for him. Because at first he was like, I'm gonna come through like this. I'm gonna be sorry, and did it. And if he don't go for that, which he didn't, he was like, I'm gonna go I'm gonna intimidate you route. I'm gonna threaten you, blackmail you. And that's what's making me think more back on Papa's dad's death because if this guy, what I've noticed in this season, they were showing you different types of devils. Like we all was focusing on Duda, like, okay, this is the bad guy. We got to get him out of here. But even, and I love Lynn Whitfield, but her character, Alicia, I kind of wasn't like excited to kind of be like, hey, it's because I'm like, okay, but if you taking out one evil, another one gonna come. That's just how it worked. And so I was a little hesitant on Alicia coming in because I'm like, okay, you're allowing your son to do your dirty work. He get hurt. Now he gone. We gonna get to that. But you don't let your son do the dirty work. You trying to get people, everybody's coming after your family and stuff. So I'm like, she might be the one you got to take out next season. I don't know. But now we know it's Nook. But um, I think the pastor is one of the evils, the devils, because he's one after just money. He's showing the people around him that you can use the church to fund your lifestyle, your dreams, and how you know what I mean. That's how you do it. And Papa's so young, naive. He ain't got nobody around him that he wants to listen to. It's not that he don't have no one around. He has his mother. He has his friends who got good head on their shoulders. He's not around like a bad crowd. And he does have people in his corner like Victor or whatever. But even like Victor said to his mom, like, I'll talk to him. He not gonna listen to you, Vic. Sorry. But like he knows your life and how you came out of that. And yeah, you were a mayor, but now you're not. You're back in this life like that you're trying to get out of. He not gonna listen to you. He not gonna listen to somebody who's not walking the same path he's trying to. So unfortunately, that's the pastor, and he thinks he's going the right way. He's like, well, my father didn't do it like this, but you are, and my father's not here, so let me do what you're doing because you are succeeding. There are people coming here back every day. That one scene when they were like, it was like Halloween, and he was there at the church, and they was all like, "Oh, we'll fund this like random swimming pool or something." I'm like, y'all got money to just drop like that? He was in a recession, but um, it goes to show that the devil can be in the church and he can be in the pulpit. They always said the devil knows the scriptures just as well as,
Mhm.
and the whole marriage thing with his wife. I don't know what that's about. What's going on? Maybe it's just for the face of the church, but that seems a hot mess. One more thing I wanted to tackle. I want you to get your take on like Papa and the pastor, but it's kind of like connected. But what's his name? There's one name in front of me. I be knowing when they not in front of me.
Jacob Lattimore, Luke James.
Hold on, hold on. I'm about to say forget it. Anyway, the one who messing with dang, where he at? He not even on the IMDb.
Is it Jake?
Yeah, Jake. Jake is messing with the first lady. They kept panning to him after they would be done having sex or whatnot, or after he was done talking to Gemma about it. Because Gemma was like, "Are you okay with just having sex with people, even though we're together, like an open relationship?" They're trying to be more like open. He will always say yes, but I think he's lying to everybody and himself because even after that first encounter he had with the first lady, or like when she left, or he was trying to get her to come over, you could tell something is just like not right with him mentally. Like I don't think he mentally knows, emotionally knows what he's doing. But it's kind of like this ego thing of like I can bag whoever I want, but there's consequences too because you don't know who you're dealing with. Well, he knows the pastor is not right, but she's done this with so many youth, so many young boys. I think she knows how to cater to them for them to keep coming back to her and stuff. And they're doing the same thing. Like her and the pastor are doing the same thing, just in different ways. The pastor is grooming Papa for the church, you know. But then the first lady is grooming him in a sexual manner, in an emotional manner, and they're both gonna take a toll on them. And I don't, they both, like Jake and Papa, both don't realize that they're being used. They think it's the other way around. Like, no, Papa's like, I'm doing this for God. I'm doing this for the Lord, the church. I'm trying to help the people. And then like Jake's like, look, I'm young. She want me. Like I ain't never had nobody this older than me before, and but they're both being used. She's using him and gonna throw him when the next young one gonna come. Like, so how do you feel about the church aspect and how they've been handling that?
I like the church aspect. It, it's like a green leaf. Well, sort of, but
Don't. You know, I don't know about Greenleaf now. That's my show.
I didn't really get into Greenleaf like that, but I compare it to Greenleaf because that's the only church show I really know.
Mm.
But I do like them adding the church aspect because they're trying to show you there's different devils, like you said. You know, the devil, got their little demons out there. But as far as Papa and the pastor, I it just shows you how you see this church and they doing the offerings. I don't think Jake put anything in the collection plate. You like forget that.
Passing.
But yep, it's a big church and they drive in all these fancy cars. They got the big houses. But are they helping the community? And even Jake said, I don't think this is right at the dinner table. And what did Papa say? Oh, the rich in spirit. It's like, what? I said, the pastor got Papa trained, because Papa, he started off as the nice kid and he got his podcast and he wants to help people, but now even he is collecting money from the podcast. There's nothing wrong with that. But the pastor is leading him. First, it starts off small, but now it's becoming big. And the adults are preying on the youth and it's showing you that the adults they're so they're on the wrong path and they're leading the youth, the future, on the wrong path as well. The woman should be having sex with a man her age, but no, preying on Jake. And now Jake, he might be old enough to have sex, but is he mature? Does he have the same mental capacity as you, older woman?
Mm.
And it kind of reminds me of how all these women, the older women, are trapping the young athletes, and because they have a girlfriend their age. I'm talking about the NBA. This is happening. Well, NBA, NFL, they have a young girl friend on the side, but they're dating a much older woman, and the women are trapping them with the babies, and hey, I got, but I think it's all going to screw them up mentally. Now, Jake might become promiscuous, and then he might have some sexual thoughts that he doesn't know how to deal with, and then Papa, is he going to be able to trust the church? Is he going to steer away from God, or is he gonna think, oh, everything's groovy? I'm doing this for the Lord, but meanwhile, he's getting filthy rich. And you're right, the mama, because if you notice, the mama never really had a bunch of lines. So who knows? Maybe she'll have some more, lines in the future, because that's the only parent he got now. But is he gonna listen to the mom? Because usually the men, they want a male role model, right? And the only one he has now is the pastor. And I just think the pastor is dirty because, like you said, I don't know his name, but the light skinned brother with the braids, yeah, he knows the pastor's secrets. And this whole infidelity thing, you're supposed to be the pastor of the church and the first lady. You guys should know better than this.
Mhm. Hey,
And that woman is sleeping with the that other white guy that was at the table, right? I think so. No, or is because they left. They left because people was hinting at. Oh, I know. Yeah, I got it confused. The pastor is sleeping with his wife. That's why they got up and left.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's like you're using the church when you're not living God's way. And that is just bad. Are you pouring into the community? Are you helping the single parent household? Are you providing food? Or are you just using people for your own benefit?
And we grew up in the church, and so it's like when when it came to the money part, right? Like, yeah, it takes money to keep up with the church. There's expenses. It's like you gotta pay the rent, you gotta pay if something break. If it's cold out, we gotta pay the heating bill. If it's a bunch of stuff that goes in the church. But the thing that's making it terrible, it's not that they're asking for money, but what they're doing with it. Like if they
Hmm.
like, we need this help to help keep the church up, okay, cool, 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 cool. But then they're taking the money and using it for their own gain. And when it comes to the pastor's wife, she's kind of young. To me, he's young too, but she looks younger than him. And I feel it's a repeated behavior. Like, how old was she when he approached her or whatnot? And how old was she? Like, did she get trained in that way? Did somebody older than her keep doing, because she doesn't seem as mature either. Like, you were about to get into it with Gemma at the dinner table, and Gemma is 18. And but yeah, the hopefully Papa, I think the bodies being buried was really like part of Papa's dad, because we never saw who took out his dad. They were masked, and it was somebody built. And Rotimi, looking at him, is pretty built. And I always thought it was like Nook and the other dude, but I'm like, I don't. It could be anybody. It could have been the pastor in Rotimi. It was like you don't know who that was, but I would definitely keep my eyes out on the pastor. when it comes with I felt like this season it reminded me of like pow, power, like who's gonna take the big man out. Everybody has a reason to take him out. He's messed up so many people's lives. I think what made Nook um unpredictable was because he was just the sideline. He was going with whatever, even though it was bad. But when he blew up the car, that potentially could have took out his kid. And once he found out he had a kid, that changed his whole life. That changed his whole world. And so I think when that happened, he was like, "Nah, I can't, I can't let this go on because he will hurt them." Um, Jacob's character Emmett was very contradictory. Like he kept contradicting himself. Like he was like, "I don't want him around my kids. I don't want him." When Keisha has been around all 15 of your kids, had to deal with all 15 of your baby mamas, had to deal with like, like you can't go on and be like, I don't want this dude around my kids when you have 10. We only see two, three, but we know you got more than that. Um, but I think it was this one scene where I think it was when Nook took out Duda and he came to the house and they start to realize, okay, we've been wanting Duda out our lives and he is, but now look who we got to deal with. Not only Duda wasn't really in the family, he was in the neighborhood, he affected the families, but now you have someone who's taken over and he's in your family. And it's like, it's not so easy to be like, oh, let's take him out. So if you want to take him out, it's got to be a whole different strategy. And and Keisha was the one of the main ones who were like, we got to get this dude out of here. But now your kid's father, it's a bunch of layers to it because it was like a relief for her to kind of like to know that okay, this kid isn't my kidnapper's kid, it's Nook's. And that was a relief for her that I appreciated. And now it's kind of like, okay, she gonna be more protective of Nook in a different manner now. But how did you feel about finding out Nook was the father and their relationship with Keisha and Emmett?
I had no problem with Nook coming into the picture because at least he wanted to be a father to the baby. He could have said nah, it's too late, the kid already born. But the fact that he wanted to take him trick-or-treating and stuff like that, he could have just said, nah, Jacob, you handle that. But at least he want to be. um Jacob was just hating, and probably, the ego messing with it. But you should want extra help. You got a lot of children. You should want extra help. That's more money that, he can provide for the baby, the diapers or whatever. I just, I didn't like Nook for what he did with the Rob character. I just thought
Mm,
he should have Duda is one thing, Duda is one thing, he was the enemy, he had to be taken out, the bomb, it could have killed the baby mama Keisha, it could have killed, the baby. So taking out Duda, no problem, Lynn Whitfield had a problem with it because she wanted to be top dog, hey, but um I just didn't like the whole because Rob was already recovering from getting shot at, the season before. And I just didn't think it was cool just because of the weed business. Because my thing is like, he wanted to be. That's actually why Duda beat him up, cause he's like, "You think I would find out cause I guess Duda wanna be in control of everything, but I'm like, "Why are you stepping on their weed turf? Do it yourself," you know what I mean? And I just didn't think that was right, you know? Y'all could have been like, okay, let's square up, let's fight, and then if I lose, then you could be a part of it, People always gotta settle things with guns. Whatever happened to fighting with your fists? That's my thing about Nook. So
Yep.
Nook. Oh, also, here's the thing: when he came to the dough after killing Duda, they eventually let him in, right?
Mhm.
But they a little nervous too, right? Because of what you said, right?
Mhm.
They glad Duda gone, but after killing somebody all bloody, the child probably was like, "What's going on?" But anyway, they also don't know that he not only killed Duda, but they don't know that he took out Rob.
Mhm.
So it's almost like, who are you going to side with? Are you going to side with Nook because he's your baby daddy and he's the father of your child? Or are you going to side with Lynn Whitfield, Jacob Lattimore? What's that? What's Rob's girlfriend name? I forgot.
Tiffany.
But yeah, Tiffany. You're also friends with Tiffany. You Jacob got a baby by her. Everything was copacetic with them and their friendship and stuff. So now it's like you took her man, cause then Tiffany was like, "Oh, I'm cool. I got a man and family and we business." Now you done took that from her, so it's gonna get kind of sticky. And they gonna be like, "No, we're not choosing sides. Nook is just a part of the family now." But they're not gonna see it that way. So they wanted to add more drama by, killing off Rob. I get it, but it's like, come on, man, come on,
That
man.
scene where Rob, at the end of the scene closing out, Alicia's with Rob, and it reminded me of like, because the song was like, "The Devil is Kind," and when she was laying there with Rob, it reminded me of kind of like Mary with Jesus, and it also reminded me that because they mirrored it where it was her grieving her son, whereas Nook was embracing his son and
Oh, good point.
he was loving on his son. Like they have an opportunity. He has an opportunity to be in his child's life and love his son. And if Rob had that same thing with his father, would he still be alive? I think that when they killed Rob's father, it stripped him of a chance to build a life with his dad. I think this is gonna be an opportunity for Nook to try and like be in his child's life and change the narrative for his son. But it could also be foreshadowing of that's how his son could end up. Like he could be in their same shoes one day too. But I think this was a good way to keep people on their toes. Tiffany doesn't know that Rob is gone. How is she gonna react? How is she gonna move now? But I've noticed a change in her. Like she's been about her business. Like she's been staying out the way. Like she's fallen in love with owning her own thing, owning her own business with cannabis and stuff. And they brought back a character from the early Shy days, and they probably are going to be working with her too, which she's going to need support. But people are saying in the comments, I've seen people say stuff like, "Oh, she gonna turn into Alicia," and they gonna be like, it's almost gonna be like Gang of Roses. I don't know, that's an old reference, but It's with Lisa Ray. That's an old Western movie. Stacey Dash. Like it could turn in like if they keep I'm sorry I had to do this, but Tony from Girlfriends, I can't find her name on it. But if they keep like if they get more of the women together like they've been doing, they could turn the town. They could have some Nook could have some competition because we've just been seeing the guys run the city. Like it's like it would be interesting if the women ran the city. How would that look? You know? But it's definitely gonna be more. I was afraid Bakari and his girlfriend was gonna get pregnant, but because like Bakari at the end had to say, look, she was like, look, it's either me or the streets, and he had to choose the streets because in his eyes, like he's trying to get free from this life, but it seems impossible because he wants to be a writer, but that's gonna take time. And for you to make money, that's probably gonna take even more time. You gotta be patient. Like being a writer, you gotta be patient with yourself, but you still have to like do the craft. You still have to apply the craft every day. You know, you can't just. He thought he was done. He wrote that one thing, published that one thing, was like, ah man, and that's not how it works. If you really want it, you just got to keep working at it. And he doesn't know much about that slow pace. That's not how he was brought up. He was brought up in a fast paced life. So he's like, look, this was gonna make me money. This is what I know. I'm gonna move up. He in number two now. So he's getting promoted in the street life. And he's like, look, it seems like that's his only way out in his eyes. And he's like, well, what else am I gonna do? He don't want to work at the food place. Like that don't make no money. Like, oh, and then they brought in a character from what's that show called? You ever watch that? On the block, on my block, or something like that.
Oh yeah, the black dude with the fro. I like him.
Yeah, and they brought uh dude from ATL. Um, I forgot his
Jason
name.
Weaver.
Nah, he from ATL too, but the other one who was like the preppy kid, and he found out Nunu
Oh,
was.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
They brought in some new characters. He scares me in this. He flipped the script. I ain't never seen him in this type of role. But I like how they're bringing in new characters. How do you feel about the new characters on the show?
I thought bringing in new characters was dope. Um, I know you're talking about he was in ATL and he was like playing golf. I
Mm.
remember him doing that. But yeah, it's good to see new characters and he's not playing like funny, jokey type dude. He's playing a rough gangster. And so Jacob's half brother, he keeps saying half. Why is he being mean to people? He's being mean to Nook, the half brother. But he's trying to figure out, okay, I kinda like owe this dude for taking the rap for me. But it's also like you chose to do that, bruh. Like they put you having a job, you know, at Jacob's, chicken place, but that's not good enough for him. It's like, how many times are you gonna have to owe him? Like, okay, I owe him for taking the rap for me, but how many times? It's like, I don't think whatever he does for him is ever gonna be enough. So that created another enemy. So that's good. Lala, they brought Lala back because I was like, I hadn't seen her in a while, so they brought Dom back. I said that Lala came back as Dom. That was nice. And also, Candy is her name. She plays Evelyn, I think, or something like that. She has a love interest.
Hmm.
I'm not sure of the name, but that's a new character as well. So they're bringing some new characters in. She does sign language.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna go too, because okay, where do we leave off at?
I said that Lala came back as Dom. That was nice.
Mhm.
And also, Candy is her name. She plays Evelyn, I think, or something like that. She has a love interest.
Mhm.
Not sure of the name, but that's a new character as well. So they're bringing some new characters in. She does sign language.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna go too, because but she was always kind of like guiding Duda anyways, like you shouldn't do this, you should move like that. And she was more of like a business person. She wasn't really driven off her ego, where I feel like Duda was. Like Duda wanted the power. Like he liked having power over people. Whereas Evelyn's more like, look, let's just not get caught by the feds. Like, um,
Oh, it's Rosalind. Yeah.
Rose,
Okay.
and you were saying you were reading an article about the shy and the men's mental health. Dive in a little bit about that, because what I've been seeing is they're bringing more. They did a little bit of it last season, but more this season of keeping that consistency of having a safe space for Black men to, and they were doing it with the young the young people too, like the Black girls, Gemma, Maisha. What's her name?
Oh, Bakari's girlfriend. Oh. Hmm.
I forgot her name. But they started their own little like, look, this is a safe space for us, but you need to tell Bakari that you've been spying on him. Like we won't do it, but you do need to say something. And I think it's showing people, like Black people specifically, like we should be creating our own safe spaces. Like, okay, this don't leave the circle. Like, this is a space for no judgment. Like, get it out there, because I don't think a lot of people have enough outlets to like express themselves enough, you know. And when you do have that safe space, how you like when you create that, you're building a community, and the more you bring people in and show them the way y'all do, the more you can help other people. And so yeah, but talk about the article you were saying that like um, about the shine in like Black men's mental health, Black people's mental health in general.
Yeah. Mental health is always a stigma, especially in the Black community. You know. Um, the article I was reading, there was something about Duda and how was he trying to commit suicide with that scene with the gun, and they just wanted to show um how even Duda is portrayed as the monster. He's not a monster. He has feelings. He has insecurities. Um, and they was also trying to highlight it with a lot of men on the show. You know how they was getting that group together and they was talking about stuff. Also, if you notice, it was on Thanksgiving where you with your friends and family and people was gathered around the dinner table. He was in the dark all alone. And who was he having dinner with? Even Rosalind wasn't really there with him. And other people actually had multiple places to go. Like, hey, I'm, you know, having dinner here, but now I'm about to get off to somebody else's house. And I think sometimes people definitely feel a lot lonely on the holidays because sometimes people pass away or maybe they don't have friends and family. So that strikes. But yeah, it's always a mental health thing with Black families. They either don't talk about it, they think, all you gotta do is pray, or they think they just all. they also just think to tough it out, especially with men. It's like don't cry, don't show your emotions, you know, especially with that because they try to be tough. And so we really got to break all those things down in the black community. But I think a lot of people just think with black people, it they kind of be joking and some stuff. They be like, every black person got PTSD because like black people go through so much trauma. It's like every black person probably has a mental problem, with anxiety or depression or this or that because of everything that, is thrown at us. So I think it's definitely an important mental health, and I'm glad they're showing that aspect because you can't just show, relationships, and you also have to show the mindset and the emotional side and the mental side. You can't just show all the drama without really addressing how it affects people mentally. And he probably had a lot on his shoulders, had a lot of deaths on his plate. People, enemies was after him. So he probably was like, hey, let me end it before somebody get me or something. But it's also been on other shows too. Raising Canaan showed it a little bit with their brother, and so more black shows are showing it. So I think that's good.
I think, yeah, black people as a whole deal with a lot of things. What I noticed in this season, this second half, a lot too of if people sit down, are willing to sit down and talk about what's going on with them, they can get through their problems easier. Or they feel like they can get through their problems. Like that's the first step. It's not gonna solve everything, but it's the first step. When it came to like, what is it? Like, what's a good example? They were trying to humanize Duda. I'm gonna go there. They
Right.
trying to humanize him. Bakari, he was trying to get more serious with his life and with school, so he started writing, and he had to
Hmm.
have a sit down with, the guy from a different world. They brought him in as a mentor. When he was able to sit down and actually have a conversation, he was able to like blueprint his life how he wanted and kind of take control of it. When it came to Bakari's teacher wanting to get him out of that life to try and help him, he had to have a sit down with Duda, and then we kind of they humanized him a little bit more, not just being like the villain. It was like, no, he went to school like everybody else. He had goals and dreams, and like he had that hustle and that drive, but he used it to terrorize a city, and
Hmm.
the teacher was basically saying like, you could have did so much, good, and even though that sit down didn't really, I don't know, I won't say it didn't affect Duda, but I think that part of them kind of weighed on him. That conversation though, they had to sit down. Nobody ever really sat down with Duda and like, because he didn't have a safe space. He didn't have the circle to go to like Victor and all of them created for people. Because nobody would probably want him there. but also that was his sit down. That was his time, and he chose to not really do much with that. But I think that took a toll on him mentally too when we saw him by himself. But even he was scared of leaving this earth. He was scared of dying. And like you said, like no one really talks about. I think if he would have had more of that sit down to talk about it, he would have been able to go a different route. But in this world in the shy, it's like showing you that black people are having all these issues, but it comes to a foundation of like support. If you don't have support and the right support, you're not going to go far or go the route you really want to, because um like for example, I'm forgetting her name, but she moved in with Nina and them, Keisha's mom and all of them, because her foundation was messed up, and she could have easily went the Bakari route. Um, eh, eh,
Lene.
hmm?
Lene. I think that's her
Len-
name.
Lene, she could have went the route of just, forget it. Let me be in these streets. Forget it. Let me give up on my life. But she had the right support. She had, a roof over her head. She had education to fall back on. She had goals. She had people reminding her like she's loved, she's wanted. Um, and I think a lot of them had lacked that. Nook, we don't know how he grew up, but you could tell he's trying to not be the same, you know, father as his father may have been. But I think this season it's showing more of how Black people get through life, and it's a lot of community. It's a lot of sticking together. What are your predictions for season 7? They got renewed for season 7. What do you think is going to happen this coming season?
There's gonna definitely be a divide between Lynn Whitfield and I think Tiffany. They're gonna band together,
Mm-hmm.
but Jacob Lattimore and his girl and Nook, they gonna be on one side. So that's gonna have some drama. There's gonna be more characters. I think you're gonna learn more about the characters that they brought in as well. So we're gonna see that. But also, I think that pastor, man, we gonna see some more of his dark secrets come out. We gonna see how Papa deal with that. Don't corrupt Papa. But I think it's gonna be a war. So it's kind of like it's gonna be like three big storylines. Well, actually, I think it's gonna be like at least four big storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, Nook, and his girl, I forgot her name, versus Tiffany and Alicia. We gonna see them, but also the storyline of Papa and the pastor and his dark secrets. But also, they're probably gonna do a little bit with like Jacob's half brother and the enemy. I don't know his name, but he was from ATL. I think that might hit big because they're actually working together. So I think that's gonna be a storyline. And also, what did they just take the mother that the brat character? They're gonna go on a like trip in an RV. Does that mean she's just not gonna be in the season?
I think I think
Maybe she'll come back a little
I
bit sometimes.
I hope they don't take away her character because she was just starting to develop. We were starting to learn more about her too, like when her and Keisha were going in therapy and her being more open. I think um, that kind of helped her in ways that she might not have known. Like she was she was in relationship after relationship. Like she was married, then she was married again. That didn't work out again. So I think like she's taking things slow, but now she wants to live her life. Like you can take things slow and still, but you gotta remember she's still in the same house as when with the woman she was married with. But now her kids are grown. Even Lene, like I was a little sad for her because I'm like, dang, but it ain't like she 11 and it's like,
Where's she
oh,
gonna
look,
live?
she's still gonna live there. She said it's gonna be people watching her,
Oh,
because she's not giving the house up. She's not giving the house up because even Jacob's, I keep saying Jacob, Emmett's mom keeps. They were saying like, we gonna make sure she good. We gonna look over.
oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, I think she just needs time to herself. But like, you got a buddy and
See the world. Yeah.
somebody was like, I don't trust the brat. when somebody said that, I was like, yeah, I kind of don't either. Anytime they bring a new character, I automatically don't trust them. But I'm like, okay, the more she there for Thanksgiving, she talking to the kids, like, and yeah, they don't have to know her, but it's the mom's choice. Like, look, y'all grown, y'all gonna be okay. I also think this is my take on it. I don't think that, and I could be reading this wrong, but I feel like Keisha isn't really happy to have another baby. Like, it something about it gave me like when Emmett was like, are you happy?" And she said yes. And everybody kept asking her like, are you happy? Are you happy? And I think she was lying every time. Cause it's like I think she want not that kids hold you back, but I feel like she's like the mom even said it. The mom was like, I can't believe you're bringing another baby into that house. And if we remember the first half of the season, she was already like weary of them moving in together. They not married. Y'all got these kids. Like, dude is trying to kill y'all. Like, what's going on? I feel like she got kidnapped, released, and now she has to like survive. And I feel like she's just been surviving. I I don't know if she's gonna go through with the pregnancy. That's what I think. I think,
Yeah.
and I think that's gonna hurt Emmett a lot if she goes that way because he's already insecure about their relationship, especially now that Nook's part of the family. Because he's questioning if he's a good father, if he's a good boyfriend and whatnot. And I think it's gonna come to a time where they might separate. I think they might go their separate ways. I don't know. But I just want Keisha to be able to still live her life. But I think she's still figuring herself out. But I don't know. I don't want her to keep the baby just to keep Emmett happy. Like, yeah, this will be their first child together, but I don't know if it's the right time. And I feel like she might feel guilty about it. I don't know. But
They're still
Bakari,
pretty young.
yeah, Bakari, I hope he I don't know what's gonna have him change his ways. Maybe they gonna have a kid, him and Lynette. I don't know. But I think I like seeing Bakari's character develop, and I hope we get to see more of him and his sister. I think Jake and Aunt Gemma, they're trying the open relationship, but that's only going to work for how long? We hear about people being in open relationships, and that's really for like, and what I've heard from open relationships, people who've been in it, it's like you both have to be mature enough to like do that. Like they're young and they still don't even know what they want. Like Gemma is looking over at Bakari's sister, like, hey, like I didn't even know I would even feel that same way toward, another woman or whatnot. But I think I think the dynamics are different because if Gemma would have went away to school, then it would have been like, oh, okay, let me explore and live my life. We got our separate ways, kind of like how now I'm forgetting his name. He was the main part of the show. What was his? Oh my goodness, he needs to
Luke
come back too.
James.
Kevin, like because look at Kevin and Maisha's character. I mean, their relationship, like they're distant and long distance relationship can work, but if they not talking, y'all not really together. Because then what are we doing then? What are we doing? So I think if Gemma would have went away to school, it would have been they would have ended quicker, right? But I think now that they're both business people, like Jake running his own business, she's running her own business. It's different because you're still in each other's space, and so you're still trying to make it work. But I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna go their separate ways. But they could work it out. They could be one of the ones who they're like, look, it works. You gotta have boundaries. You gotta, you gotta know who you're seeing. Do they, respect the relationship that y'all have and stuff like that. So maybe they're gonna show us how like someone in an open relationship work. But and they kept it honest. Jake kept it honest with Gemma, like, look, we had sex. Like, and she was like, how you just gonna say that? He was like, how else am I gonna say it? Like, and I'm like, that is true. Like, do you want him to lie? And I'm glad they took the route of him just being honest. And I think that's why they're still together now. So that's why I'm not ruling them out completely, but I think they're gonna show us more of that. Real quick, Victor, he got back with his woman. They talked it out, and like I said, that's why I was saying like this season felt more like if you sit down and talk with each other, you can really resolve it if y'all want to. And all he had to do was go over there and talk to her, and then it's like they show you when couples fight, and that you can still like move forward, like without breaking up and now you dealing with all that. It's like all they had to do was just talk to each other. And they both still wanted each other. And so we're seeing different dynamics of relationships. Now, on the other hand, Victor's right hand man who was helping him be mayor, he straight up cheated on his husband. That was wrong. You did the most. You did the most. Because your husband didn't want to, side with you on the do the thing. You didn't have to have sex with that man. Okay, you called him up. There was a process to this. You called him, you saw him, y'all banged. Like y'all, and what did that do? I think that's gonna be something in the future we're gonna see too, how it affects different people's lives now that dude is gone. I'm not even gonna lie, when dude passed, I was a little sad, like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, dang.
Yeah, cause
You just don't know who's like we know we saw it coming, we like he been shot at before. I didn't see the Rob thing coming at all. But somebody said if he wanted to talk smack, he would have still been here. Because I'm like, I don't know. Nook kind of turned into a different person. Once you, like you said, I didn't realize you said it, but like Alicia wanted to be that top dog. And because he took away her kill, he the top dog. So it's really like, that's why I was saying, like, I don't trust Alicia coming in the mix because she just came to do more damage. And we got a side, they throwing us off because it's Lynn Whitfield. And we like, oh, you can't do nothing to Lynn. They off Leon. Nobody was coming to see Otis. We wanted Leon to live. They got him. And that dude who got him, what's his name? Do you know his name? I don't know his name. We're gonna get better next season, but look. Y'all know who we're talking about.
well, the problem is they are putting in a lot of characters. There's so many different storylines. It's not like it's like those people behind you. That those aren't even the whole cast. So this cast is so big that they don't even got Jacob on there. They ain't got Lynn Whitfield on there. So the cast is so
Different.
big. It's
Yeah.
hard. Also, they're slowly. I think he's gonna. Maybe they'll give him more of a role too because we kind of saw him falling in love with a
Yep.
girl on the side,
And
and
he
she's
looked
like,
and he looked scared when he shot Rob. When Nook shot Rob, he looked terrified, and I ain't never seen him look scared ever. He was like, "Oh snap!" Because he was the number two. Remember that he was working on holidays. He was working on Thanksgiving. He was like, and Duda was like, "I'm gonna make you my number two." But I'm like, little did you know he was talking to Alicia on the side in the beginning. But whatever. You can't trust none of them. And he didn't see that one coming. And that's why you should never underestimate anybody. When he saw Alicia, when Duda saw Alicia there, he was like, I should have known. But what he didn't see is Nook is really who was plotting behind you the whole time. Now, real quick with Duda and Tony's character, like that's not her.
Bianca. I
Bianca,
looked it up.
Duda and Bianca's characters, he was just using her to bang her. Like she was, I think, falling for him, but Tiffany messed that up when she done told on you. Everybody was like, Tiffany.
Yeah, she
Even
talk too much.
I'm like, Tiffany, what are you doing? Like, but she gonna have to learn how to like use like she gonna grow up. She gonna have to figure out like how to talk to people. I think that's what's teaching her like lessons. Like Bianca told her, like, look, we gotta have each other back. Can't be out here doing that. Nah, what the hell? But
And
Duda was just using her. Duda was using Bianca the whole time. Like, and that's why Rosalind was like, look, I'm the wife. I'm always gonna be the wife. I'm like, well, now you're the widow. But I like that she got a boo thing. Her girl a little goofy, but she ride for her. That's all that matters. She out there shooting at people, right?
they got it's nice that she signs,
Yeah.
so that's
That's how you knew it was
included.
real. I was like, oh, okay, I thought you were just trying to use her as a fling, but and then Duda saw that too, and I think that gave Duda was a little proud of that. That was humanizing him too, like because he could have been on that like, man, she ain't gonna satisfy you and that. He was like, because even though he was like killing people, he wasn't homophobic, he wasn't transphobic. He just wanted power, right? Because he could have easily used uh, anything to demean everybody or make them feel less than. Like even when he was talking to Victor's woman, like he didn't ever try and threaten her or expose or whatever. Like I, he just wanted to rule the city. So I'm glad he kind of like he smiled a little bit when he saw like his wife was like learning something new, for somebody. He's like, okay, because he saw somebody he loved being happy, and even though he's not happy with himself, he was glad that somebody else could do that. But that pretty much wraps it up, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Go check out my cousin's basketball channel. She be dropping movie reviews. She be doing predictions on the NBA and the WNBA. She be having her people on there. If you ever want to talk sports with her, go ahead, hit her up. Let her know. It's expanding, it's growing the channel. Her group on Facebook. Don't sleep on Facebook. That's where it goes down. I keep telling people, but whatever. So look, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Ashley, do you have anything to say to the people before we go?
Yeah, make sure you guys follow me on social media platforms. Ashley, I be ballin'. Tune into my channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Road to William. And I'm looking very forward to next season. How they continue to develop the new characters, more storylines. We gonna see many demons out there, devils on every level. When you level up, there's another devil. We gonna see.
Yeah, and shout out to the writers, shout out to the director, shout out to Lena Waithe, shout out to all the people who bring this together. Shout out to the actors who are, putting that time in. I think they're filming right now because I think what happens is when they're done for us, when that last episode in, I think that's when they start filming again. Because I think that's at least what like they do over there with Ghost in them, but they in limbo. I think they coming back. I think this is just a way for us to just be on our toes. I think Ghost is coming back. Anyway, the
A
Shy,
ghost movie?
just bring back Amari Hardwick and we'll be fine. Um, but that's another episode. Be on the lookout for Ghost Review, because they're going crazy as well. I think they're starting to bring some of Ghost people um into the Shy. Right now I'm like it's a brain fog on who that is, but um I'm like that's dope if they intertwine a whole bunch of like of the black shows and they're all in this different realm of the world. Anyway, look, like what is
Different dimensions?
right? Um, yes. I'm looking forward to season 7. I hope it continues even after that. Like this is the shot.
Lucky Seven.
This is one of them shows where it's like you can keep going. Like this is about life, people's lives.
Yes.
This is about um showing you what the world is and at stake today. Like what is the world today? I like how they keep it modern, you know, of today's time. That
Yeah.
it's not the same old like, once you're done with school, go to college, get a job, stay there for 50 years, retire. Maybe you fall in love in between there, but whatever. Then you die, and then you go. And the next same simulation, and you're like, I like how they're showing you that in life you can do anything you want. Like someone like Bakari in real life could actually be a writer and tell his story. And somebody could actually, if you're into gaming, that could be a career for you if you want. If you want to do music, do that. Whatever you want to do that. And there
Want to run for mayor? Do it.
you want to run for mayor, and it's like all the obstacles, all the things you think wouldn't qualify you. Like you look at Victor's record, you'd be like, how? And you're like, no one can. If you want it, the only person that's stopping you is you. But with that comes with support because it's gonna be times where you not gonna want to do nothing. You just gonna wanna. You might want to just go the easy route and just play it safe. And so that's where your support come in, and they're gonna challenge you, and they're gonna be like, "Nah, this is what you said you
Yeah.
want. It's what it takes." And I think like Bakari's teacher, that's when he was like kind of showing him like, "No, this is a good start." And Bakari ain't like that. Like, what you mean good start? Like, I put everything into this. It's like, no, that's what you got to do when you want something. And so I think support is good when it comes to wanting to live your dream. So go out there and live your dreams, um, and make sure you create. If you don't have support, create one, make one. Reach one, each one, teach one. I'm just
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Life's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen.
Life is
Storylines can go on for ages
yeah.
because if you look at last season, Papa and Jake didn't really have a storyline. Now this season, Jake is sleeping with an older woman, having an open relationship. Papa, got the pastor, so they're bringing in new characters, and you never know what's gonna happen with those 3 girls on there. Or 4 girls on there. What is gonna happen with them? What's gonna happen with Bakari and his sister? What's gonna happen with the rapping and career? Because right now those kids don't really necessarily have storylines. Well, the female kids, but it's like next season they could. They could get wrapped up into something like Jake and Papa. This can go on forever because you can bring in new characters, and then those characters are growing up. They're growing up, so they're gonna get more older adult storylines, So yeah.
I say this one last time. Keep your eyes on Papa's mama. Something in me is saying she got the juice. She's gonna be an unpredictable character, so I'm keeping her in the back of my mind. Okay, she knows something. She was there that night in the house. She saw something. She saw a car. She
Ooh.
saw somebody. You think they walk in that house with they mask on? No, somebody slipped. Somebody slipped. She's too adamant about not letting Papa be around him. It ain't just about him being a greedy pastor. It's something deeper than that. But we'll see. I'm ready for season 7. Let's go. Let's get it popping. Also, Jacob, Luke, y'all need to drop an album together or something. Do a mixtape. Where I don't know if singers do mixtapes, but do something. I saw y'all on the Breakfast Club. They had a great interview. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. They talk a little bit more about their music and the acting life, the acting world. But um, yeah, remember, like, comment, subscribe, check out my cousin's channel, and we'll see y'all again soon. Peace. I see sunlight all the way.